Yeah, what up? It's your boy Alley Cat.
And I'm Twin.
We are the Kultcha. Before we start this episode, big shout out to Don Corn.
That's right, get
Better
the
than
book.
my last time. Make sure you pick this book up. I'm gonna give you all the information on this book, but I want to get into this episode right now. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Episode 3. Let's go.
Yeah, we ain't gonna really name the episodes, but you know, today's episode is about gentrification. As you can see, we in Bed-Stuy, live in the Elements outside. So as you look around, this neighborhood being gentrified right now. So that's our specific topic today. It's about gentrification. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely.
Now let's define gentrification.
Yes, defining gentrification is when they lower the property value, right? Just to move a certain demographic of people out and then raise it back up so those people can't get in. So we're dealing with gentrification today all over the place, whether it's your local liquor stores, whether it's the houses they want to turn back into Victorian old school houses. We're dealing with gentrification all over when it comes to roads, schools.
And hold, yeah, because it's all over.
No doubt.
Bed-Stuy, New York, and this is one of the places that they are regentrifying. Spike Lee spoke about it. They turn it into East, West, North, South Bed-Stuy.
Nah.
Listen, the rent up here is going to $3,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. You're paying somebody's mortgage.
No, definitely.
You know,
and it's never good for the community. It's never good. I don't care if you're a Hispanic community. I don't care if you was in an Indian community or a black community. It's never good for gentrification in these neighborhoods. And we're going to go into why that is in a little bit, right?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it?
Let's get into it.
Let's just rapid fire into it?
Just get serious.
You're right, because we ain't got all day for this, right? So let's get into it. They changed parks. What do you think about the changing of revamping of parks all over?
Glasses when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Now, these parks are clean. They have budgets. You got speed bumps now.
Speed
I mean, the whole
bumps.
neighborhood is changing.
You park closes at a certain time. You got to be out the park.
It was always dusk till dawn. Or dawn to dusk, however you want to say it. You know what I mean? But now, they serious about it. They'll give you a ticket for sitting out there. And you might not be bothering nobody. You could just be shooting a couple of hoops. I remember growing up, we could stay in the park all day, all night we wanted.
You can't get found outside of a certain time. It used to remind me of what they still have today, which are some of these sundown towns. For y'all who knows what I'm talking about sundown towns, please leave a comment in the DM. All right, if you know what I'm talking about, because you can't get caught out here no more without ID.
Don't leave a comment in the DM so we can explain it to you. Right now, we're explaining regentrification.
Definitely. So let's talk about some of the new infrastructures. What do you see your local coffee shop changing from the moms and pop stores?
We can look directly across the street. They got a new pharmacy.
New pharmacy, yeah.
I mean, you know, you get it boutiques. You're gonna get everything of the sort, but you're not really getting the help for the people.
Definitely.
They boosting the rate where it's not even helping nobody. You have to leave now.
Definitely.
They want you out. Because they didn't want to pay the high taxes. I mean, you know, I could be all over the place with this conversation.
Yeah, we not. We gonna stay. You're on the topic. Trust me. When you go to these local pharmacies and stuff like that, they got certain healthcare coverage that maybe don't relate to your job because your job is not as much affluent as, you know, the people that's moving in that neighborhood, right? So sooner or later gonna start to push you out, right? Slowly but surely. But as far as black people in these communities, right? We often, I'm trying to talk with emphasis, so I'm kind of like whispering. Black people's in these communities actually think it's kind of a good thing that they see better pharmacies, better coffee shops, better buildings. What you think for that aspect?
Well, you know, I would say the wool been pulled over our eyes so many times.
Right.
So, you know, what you think is good, but glitters ain't always gold. You know
Definitely, definitely.
You see and you think these things are good, but it's pushing out your retirees that was, you know, has a set budget.
No, definitely.
A certain amount. And yeah, you could say, well, don't be mad at me because they didn't secure their future or set their future up the right way. But who's to say that? Because anything could go wrong at any minute. It's a high population of cancer victims in society, and you don't know when that comes, and that could crush your whole budget.
Definitely.
You know?
So we got these greedy corporations. They come in here and start to buy up all the buildings, especially in Bed-Stuy. I know a personal story of a friend of mine that say they used to leave little flyers on a staircase that says, you know, either move out the neighborhood niggas or black people relating to watermelon. It'd be a picture of a watermelon on the flyer to help push people out. So either they trying to give these people the bag to move out these neighborhoods, or they trying to make it to a place where it's very uncomfortable for the people who have built these neighborhoods, who have lived here a very long time. So when we're dealing with gentrification, right? Gentrification is a very important aspect. To me, gentrification, the word is kind of coded. It's a hostile takeover of a certain demographic of people. It doesn't matter what color you is. So when we deal with like colorism and gentrification in the neighborhood, right? When we look at the schools get better, right? Or so-called get better. The stores where you shop get better. You start to see high fashion in stores in these neighborhoods. What do you think about that? Because we definitely not living here. Like, you really think you're gonna live here and shop at them stores, or you gonna come visit this neighborhood to shop in them stores? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, they're trying to bring a lot of people into the community.
Yeah.
But the people that they're bringing is not from the community, don't understand the community,
Right.
and really probably don't care about the community. They just want to be living in New York City.
Right.
That's one. Then you have the group that, you know, tired of paying that Long Island City tax.
No doubt.
So they come into the low-income neighborhoods
Right.
and get the lower tax rate, or at least they assume that, and they closer to the city and they could move around
Definitely.
and do these things of the sort. I've always heard the saying,
Right.
change ain't always good.
Nah.
And I mean, watching this change, I've seen people lose their homes. I see you always get a letter on your step saying you want to sell your home, or, you know, and then they just trying to find a way to get you out.
Nah, because I'm glad that you emphasize on change, because I emphasize on that a lot as well, right? Because there is a change in the neighborhood with gentrification of a sort, right? The property value rises up, and it does seem like it gets better, but the fundamental never changes. The base ground, which is the fundamental relationship between us and corporations, poor people and rich people, black people and white people.
Well, corporations never cared about us.
No, they never did, but that fundamental relationship still stay the same. You understand? When they come into this neighborhood and gentrify it, it's a hostile takeover. Do you understand? It's not a multiculturalism or a multicultural neighborhood. Do you understand what I'm saying? So even in our neighborhoods today, pre-gentrification, we also see that the grocery stores, the vegetable shops, the Chinese restaurants are not multicultural to begin with, right? Because we are more of an open people.
Yeah,
we let people into our neighborhoods, right? So when it comes to gentrification, these large corporations come in here, it's so easy for them to come in and take over, because that is our mindset from the start anyway. We allow other people into our communities. So what do you think about that? The difference of culture, because now we got to talk about the effects of gentrification.
Gentrification, we let them in.
Right.
They don't let us in.
No doubt.
You know, we can't even go to certain neighborhoods and buy a house, and we can have all the money.
No doubt.
So, I mean, they come here and we just so open arms.
Yeah.
But why is that?
Because, you know, that's the red tapes that they put up against us all the time. And you saying, why is that? Why we can't move into their neighborhoods? It's because it's built on white supremacy, racism. It's systematic oppression. You understand what I'm saying? So even if you go besides Bed-Stuy, when you go in towns like Philly, they are gentrifying Philadelphia as well, the city of Philly right now. So these are the things we got to come together to help stop.
Well.
Seattle, to me, been gentrified. Boston, San Francisco, Los Angeles. These are some of the top cities on the list that have been gentrified. But what do you think culturally? How does gentrification works against that when they come in and take over in that community where there's a certain culture? What happens to the culture in that community?
Well, the culture changes as in the concern for the people and the people caring for one another.
Right.
So now that you're concerned and cared about one another, that you slowly lose that. You know, everybody's for themselves now because everybody's trying to survive.
Right.
And you know, the means don't justify the ends. And you know, I'm looking for so many words to say, but it's just all fucked up. You know, so many words.
That's plain and
this is
simple.
my show, so I can say that.
And this is the podcast, so we don't shy from being real. There's no editing here. It's a straightforward thing. You know what I'm saying? So back to gentrification, because I see you getting upset, and that's a good thing. Because, you know, when your neighborhoods is getting gentrified, I should see some emotion, some energy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, I mean, growing up in these neighborhoods, South Jamaica, Queens,
right.
Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn,
right.
Northeast Bronx. You know, I moved around as a kid a lot. So moving around as a kid a lot and seeing my community change, you know, you think it's changing for the better, and you see these nice parks, and it's like, I can bring my kids here, have a good time, because I have children there.
No doubt.
And you watch these things, and even education changes. And you know, you see these things, and you happy for them, but then does it really change for the better? No, because now I can't barbecue like I was before. I can't do certain things that I was doing before with my neighborhood and in my community, with my friends and my family, because now somebody that new to the neighborhood comes in here and wants to control the neighborhood.
Yes,
Even the
that's the
police
facts.
even in the
That's the
policing in the
facts.
neighborhood changes. Because now, I remember we was out there. Now, sometimes it was a nuisance. It might have been annoying, but you know what? That was our neighborhood.
Right.
Because we looked out for one another.
No
You
doubt.
know, we might have a barbecue and, you know, everybody coming out and having a good time. It might be the whole block. And then you got that one person that didn't grow up in the neighborhood, came to my neighborhood, and now telling me to shut my radio down, do this, do that, or we can't sit on our steps now. We got different ruling. And
No,
I mean,
that's the effects of gentrification. You know, when a certain demographic of people move into the neighborhood, you start to see sanitation, more police. Even sanitation picks up the garbage more fluently in a gentrified, broken down neighborhood.
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate
because Spike Lee talked about that also.
Yes.
How the lack of picking up garbage in our communities is not as frequent as those other communities of a different demographic. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the effects of gentrification, seem like all those moving parts start moving faster, better. Corporations intend to invest in communities that have been more gentrified. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we ain't got the helps of those corporations, being the fact that the neighborhoods are not gentrified. But once they become gentrified, you see all these, even with the banks, for instance, we wants to grow our community. We wants to hook it up. This is part of the effects of gentrification. We can't get loans, like we said previously, to get storefronts, to help develop our neighborhoods, right? Right? And then gentrification happened, and all of a sudden, those certain people gets all the loans from the banks that was there when we was there,
that
was
wouldn't
there.
give us a loan.
That wouldn't give us a loan. So these are issues of gentrification. So it's almost seemed like there's red tape, there's a red lining to it, and we're trying to cut the red tape. We're trying to get rid of the red tape, right? So and that being said, whoever got questions about gentrification, because we is trying to take this on a deeper level, please hit us on a DM, all right? We'd be glad to answer those questions, you know, involving gentrification. Now, as far as gentrification is concerned, right? What do you think about this, right, with gentrification? Is it a business thing for you, or is it personal for you?
Regentrification is always business. You know, it brings the value of $1. But business ain't always good.
Yeah, because people think business, it ain't personal. It's just business.
No, business is always personal.
Right.
This is how I feed my kids.
Right.
You know, it determines my money,
No
my
doubt.
well-being.
No doubt.
It determines the well-being for my children.
Right.
You know, so now with the well-being of my children, I have to worry about all these things.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
this is my neighborhood. This is my community.
Definitely.
So, you know, within this community, you see these changes, but the changes are not, like what I said again, and I keep pressing on to this. It's not always good. Because they're not giving jobs now.
Right.
So now these jobs, you got the change in the neighborhood, but now we need jobs. If you don't give him a job, how is he going to survive in this community?
Good point. Good point. Because we talking about the lack of resources, right? Right. We didn't have the resources to start. Gentrification happened. Then all of a sudden, those resources are open. So if there is building new pharmacies, new businesses, Gap and everything out here, they want to employ only their own. So by gentrifying the neighborhood, now you move. You have to travel to the neighborhood that you was once part of just to work, right? Because you ain't gonna be able to afford to live in the neighborhood no more. So now you got to travel to these same neighborhoods to work. What do you think about the lack of resources and all of a sudden resources just available? Yeah.
Because resources was always a lack.
No,
That's
definitely.
why it was always a lack of
Right.
resources when it came to our community.
Right.
So now with these lack of resources already to start, they want to fix something that is broken, been broken, and it ain't even time to fix what was broken already. They just said, let's cover it up and move forward.
And that's why I'm talking about the resources, because they say you should pick up your own self by your own bootstraps. Why ain't you improving your own community? Why the community looking the way it does? You know what I'm saying? It's due to y'all. We came in and made it better. But we know there's red tape. It's the lack of resources.
I mean, it's the lack of resources, but it's not it's not just the lack of resources, it's the lack of know-how.
Right.
You know, when the community changes or people come in our community
Right.
and they make these changes because they know how to write to the local councilman. You know, they know how to stand up for certain things that we don't stick together. Let's be honest. Some of these things that they do when they come regentrify, they come in there and they go to the local precinct and press certain issues, and they write up petitions for the speed bumps and stopping certain things, and things of that nature. Of like even in the neighborhood, they have now. They do a community where, you know, if your dog poops or whatever it is, they giving out free poop bags or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
You know, in a sense, we have to also blame ourselves. And what I mean by blame ourselves, because we're not standing up. We're not standing up for ourselves. We're not standing up and saying, you know what, this is my neighborhood. Let me do some things to keep my neighborhood and make it right. It's become a sense of selfishness.
So it's a combination of lack of resources, and we blame ourselves. But if we're not getting the work done because of the lack of resources, like how much can you actually improve a neighborhood? How much can you actually improve it if you don't have the resources? Right? So it's a web, right? So now we gotta do susu with each other, you know, to create our own banking system, to maybe save, to get some of these things done in our community before a hostile takeover of a corporation that's building something in your community to gentrify it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because there are a lavish, expensive buildings across the street from the projects here in Brooklyn that I see.
Yeah.
Queens.
Yeah.
All over. You know,
all over New York City.
Which is baffling to me, which is shocking to me, because right across the street you have maybe white people living, and right across the street from them is a project where black people living. And surprisingly,
and
Latinos, minorities, what they call minorities, minorities, we the majorities. But what I'm trying to say is, it seems like everybody stays in their place. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like that saying, know your place and stay in your place.
Right, because there's a sense of inferiority complex within our community where it seems
Say that
like
one more time?
Inferiority complex.
That's right.
Within our community where it seems like we rob each other, we steal from each other.
And it's also another cognition it's coming to me.
What's that?
Compensation disorder. You know what I'm trying to say.
You said compensation disorder?
No, not compensation.
Okay.
Hold on, let me, cause I wrote it down.
Okay. So why he looks that up, y'all, and gets that correct? What I'm trying to say is also, hopefully he can elaborate on, is that we are, and we in New York City, that's why you hear a little bit of noise, right? It's
that.
Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance he's talking about. Yes, we do have something that they call cognitive dissonance that's in the brain. But the weird thing about it to me is that they live right across the street and we walk around them. There's no robbery of them. There's no bothering them. There's no hostile taking over of where they live and what schools they go to. There's none of that. It's only seemed like that's with each other in our own community, which is right across the street. That's what's baffling to me.
Because you're scared to mess with them because, you know, they're going to call 911.
So it's
they're going to get here fast.
So it's still the slave and master mentality when it comes to gentrification?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So I'm baffled on that. I don't know if y'all is, but I would like to know y'all comments.
And we are live outside. We are on the streets.
Definitely.
So I don't know if you heard what he said the last couple of minutes ago or seconds ago. Say it again.
Cognitive dissonance. This is why people get upset when their beliefs are challenged. It's called cognitive dissonance. Actually, there's a few professional people out there that have a couple of lectures on cognitive dissonance that you should check out, whether it's on the internet, YouTube. Please check that out so you can get a more defined definition of what we're talking about. But we do suffer from post-traumatic slave syndrome as well when it comes to gentrification.
And so gentrification has so many subjects and disorders. How would you say, syndromes?
Yeah, you can say that.
Disorders,
you can say that.
And all of the sort. Regentrification. Please pay attention to what's going on.
Right.
You know, we need to start talking more about other topics than just the new Rolex, the new car, you know, in our neighborhood. We need to talk about the real estate, buying back, owning our neighborhood. You know, because as long as we keep it circulating, we'll be okay. You know, they do it within their neighborhoods, Little Chinatown and Little Italy and everything of this sort. But they come to our neighborhoods and regentrificate and regentrify us.
So breaking it down, right? Getting to the bridge part. Older and younger people. How can we bridge the gap when it comes to gentrification?
That's a tough question. I mean, it's very tough. I mean, what was your solution?
Well, I think it don't start with the young. In this case, when we talk about gentrification, I think it starts with the older and wise and more experienced people, you know, which would be our elders, our older people who have been through a lot of experience on this. And we need to teach the younger people how to go about their business when it comes to renting, leasing, whatever the case may be. Because our goal is mainly to move out the hood, right? To move out the hood. There's no more sanitation workers in the hood. There's no more police officers in the hood.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why move out the hood when you, okay, this is the hood or whatever it is, but then you just gonna move into another hood that we don't own anyway. So you're moving into another hood that we don't own.
Right, definitely.
So why not try to stay in the neighborhood where your roots is
and build it up.
Build it up.
And build it up.
Better. And instead of going to somebody else's neighborhood and it's already built up and you still don't have a voice.
Right. Right.
You know, they consider you, once you live in a neighborhood for more than, I say, 5 years, you have roots there. You know, look, you're in the street, walking up and down freely.
Yeah.
You know, we walk up and down, sometimes we nervous.
Yeah.
In society. Why is that?
Yeah.
So, you know, just looking at all this, but then we go move to their neighborhoods and thinking that we better.
Right.
Than my counterpart or whatever it is
right.
that I grew up with. And we're not, because we still get pulled out of our homes and get treated disrespectfully. It's just that we just have a bigger bankroll now to get disrespected.
That's why for the black man and woman, the higher you reach in life, the lonelier it gets. Because we do not go back to our neighborhoods to bridge that gap, to build it up. So that is the moral of today's topic when it comes to gentrification. I am Twin, and I'm part of this culture, and always will be.
And I'm Alley Cat. I am the culture.
And that's right, we building bridges, y'all. Never forget, the bridge will never be broken. I don't care how thin it is for us to walk through. We building that and never building walls. So, you know, with that, we're in Best Style, Outside Elements.
Man, listen.
I can't wait for the next episode.
Me neither.
Word up.
With this saying that, bridges and walls are built by the same material.
That's right, and the rest is history. Yo, peace. We the culture.